Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today, we're making cheesecake. Now, you may have had a cheesecake slice at a restaurant or two, but you've never had Chef Vic-style cheesecake. From the super tasty bottom layer, all the way to the perfectly cooked main layer, I can't wait for you guys to try the first slice. So, let's get started. Alright, so for the ingredients, we're going to need 15 graham crackers, coarsely chopped, 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted and cooled to room temperature, a 1/3 cup of packed light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of grated lemon zest, or about the zest of 1 lemon, 1 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt divided, 2 1/2 pounds of cream cheese, or 5 8-ounce packages, softened to room temperature. You're also going to need 1 1/3 cup of granulated white sugar, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, or the juice of half a lemon, 5 large eggs at room temperature, 1 cup of sour cream at room temperature, and finally 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Alright, so to get things started, we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. And you want to assemble a 9-inch by 3-inch spring-form pan with the bottom inverted so that the raised lip faces down. And you want to butter the bottom and the sides of the pan with a non-stick spray. Moving on, in a food processor, you want to pulse the graham crackers until a coarse meal forms. And so you're ultimately looking for a texture like this. Next, you just want to take a microplaner and zest 1 large lemon to get your teaspoon's worth of grated lemon zest. And so now you want to add in your melted butter, the brown sugar, your lemon zest, as well as half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Pulse all these ingredients together in the processor until the crumbs become a slightly wet mixture. And a good test to see if your mixture is ready is if you take a handful of it and put some pressure on it, it should hold its shape. Now you want to take this mixture and add it to your prepared spring-form pan and press it evenly across the bottom surface of the pan and about 1/4 to 1/2 way up the sides of the pan. And speaking about pressing, this is the perfect time to press that like button for me. It really helps the channel out by boosting that good old YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to smash that subscribe button too and hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And make sure you stay until the end of this video for a sneak peek of the recipe coming next week. And so, as you can see in the video, I find it best to use the flat end of a measuring cup to press the crumbs into place. Similarly, using that to press the crumbs on the sides of the pan together as well. But once your crust is formed, you want to bake this for 12 to 15 minutes or until the crust has completely set. And once it's done baking, you want to remove it from the oven and allow it to cool completely. Now you want to reduce the oven heat to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or about 162 Celsius. And now we're going to work on the filling of our cheesecake. So in the bowl of a stand mixer, we want to add in our 5 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, making sure that they're softened to room temperature. That's really important. And you want to fit the mixer with a paddle attachment. And you want to beat the cream cheese on medium speed until it's all smooth. And once your cream cheese has reached about this consistency, you want to slowly add in the granulated white sugar and beat it until it's light and fluffy. And this should take about 2 to 3 minutes. The consistency of your filling should be looking like this at this point. Now you want to add in your lemon juice, as well as the remaining 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Give that a quick mix to blend in the lemon juice and salt into the rest of the ingredients. And once that's nice and smooth, you want to add in the sour cream, followed by the vanilla extract. Beat that again until your batter looks about so. And you definitely want to scrape down the sides of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl to make sure that all of your ingredients have been well blended. Now for an important step, you want to add in all 5 eggs, one at a time, not adding the other until the former egg has been incorporated. So take your time with this, but once you have your final egg added to the mix, this will create a smooth, silky batter. Give your bowl another scrape around the sides and the bottom just to make sure that the entire batter is nice and smooth and silky. So for our cheesecake to be perfect, we're going to bake it in a water bath. And so our springform pan needs to be insulated from the water. And the best way to do that is to wrap the edges of the springform pan first with a slow cooker liner, ensuring that the liner is tightly pressed at the seam of the pan and the edges of the liner are pressed onto the top edge of the pan. And to make it even more secure, we're going to follow that with adding a double layer of heavy-duty aluminum foil, making sure that the foil is pressed tightly along the bottom seam and the edges of the aluminum reach the top of the springform pan, creating yet another barrier between the water and the pan. So now that you've created a nice metallic boat for your springform pan, you want to slowly pour in your batter. And there should be enough batter in this recipe to reach the top of your pan. And then you just want to smooth the top off with a spatula or an offset spatula if needed. Now you're going to place the springform pan into a large roasting pan or a deep dish lasagna pan. And this roasting pan is going to be placed in the center rack of your oven. Now, with the rack pulled out for easy access, carefully pour in the boiling water to the roasting pan so that the level of water reaches halfway up the height of your springform pan. Then you just want to gently push the rack back into the oven and bake this cake for 55 to 70 minutes, or until the cake has just started turning light golden brown and has a slight wobble in the center. And a visual tip to make sure that your cake is done is that you should be able to tap the pan and see a slight wobble in the center. And it's going to be slight, so you're not looking for movement like water, but more like a stiff jello. At this point, you want to turn the oven off and open the door slightly. Let the cheesecake cool down in the oven for 1 more hour with the door remaining slightly ajar. And once that time has passed, you want to carefully remove the springform pan from the deep dish pan and transfer it to a wire rack to cool. And the cooling process should take about 20 minutes. Once it's had time to cool, you want to remove the outer foil and liner from the pan. And as you can see, it's dry on the inside, so that's a great sign for us. And now allow your cheesecake to cool completely. And once it's cool to the touch, you want to drape the top of the pan loosely with plastic wrap and refrigerate this for at least 6 to 8 hours, or at best overnight. Thankfully, we have TV magic on our side, and so it's already the next day. And you want to take your cheesecake out of the fridge and use a small paring knife to loosen the edges of the cake from the pan. And then just gently unmold the cake from the edges of the springform pan, and it's ready to slice and serve. And another quick tip for getting nice, perfect slices of cheesecake is to take a hot cup of water and a sharp knife. You want to warm your knife in the hot water before making the first slice. And once you've gotten your first slice through, you want to clean the knife off again in the hot water before making your second slice to remove your first piece of cheesecake. And I mean, look at that texture. Following these easy steps will lead you to creating a beauty of a cake. And just like that, you've made the perfect, best cheesecake ever. And on top of that, you made it at home. And of course, one of the best things about this recipe is that you're making an entire cheesecake. So once you slice all of it up, you can store each slice in the freezer for up to 2 months. And for freezer care, you just want to wrap it tightly or place it in an airtight container. Oh, and one more bonus about cheesecake that makes it so awesome is the variety of ways you can flavor it. My personal favorite is using chocolate syrup, but feel free to add any toppings you desire for your perfect slice. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine Volume 2, Elevating Your Inner Chef. And that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in my description box. And also feel free to click the pop-up on the screen for more information on that as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to smash that like button for me. It really helps the channel out. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And sharing is caring, so if you've enjoyed this video and think someone else will, feel free to share this with all your family and friends too. And stay tuned for next week, where I show you to make everyone's favorite sandwich, the club sandwich. Super easy and perfect for lunch. Well, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine. And until then, peace.